How old are you?
I am 22 years old.
Where are you from?
I am from the Seattle, Washington area.
Do you listen to music, and what types of music do you listen to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who doesn't listen to music. I listen to probably like R&B, alternative pop, hip hop.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks.
How do you find new artists or new types of music?
So, I find a lot of my new artists on like social media, like TikTok. But I also follow like playlists of like new creators. And I also get suggestions on bands and songs from like friends.
Mm-hmm. What types of social media do you use the most?
I'd say the most I probably use Twitter, number one, and then probably Instagram and TikTok tied at number two. And then I also use Facebook, but I definitely use Twitter or Instagram and TikTok much more.
Mm-hmm. What types of streaming services do you use?
So streaming, I use Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, and I think that's it. Yeah, those are the ones I use.
Have you ever been to a live music venue before?
Yes.
How close do you live to a live music venue?
Well, right now I don't live very close to one, because I live in the outskirts, but when I was living in the city, I lived, about 20 minutes from one. Now I'm about like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
How often do you go to live music events? Obviously before COVID happened, but...
Before COVID, I would go probably 4 or 5 times a year. Obviously with COVID, I haven't been to any in the last year, but...
How familiar are you with the term diversity, and can you give me your personal definition of how diversity, or what diversity means to you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with diversity. Diversity to me is recognizing the differences in people, whether that's gender, class, race, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, all of the different things that make each person individual. It's like, I think that diversity is taking all of those things and raising awareness to the differences, but also like bringing them together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say something like diversity to me is the like awareness of differences, and the unifying of people, I guess.
How familiar are you with the term activism, and can you give me a personal definition of what activism means to you?
Yeah, so I am familiar with activism. I would say activism is any action done with the intent to raise awareness to a certain issue. So there could be like online activism, like the like Instagram and like social media influencers that like pass around all of like especially right now with like the Black Lives Matter movement, they're passing around all of those like petitions and stuff. That's activism, you know, going door to door and registering voters. That's activism. Like speaking at an event, like talking about like a certain issue, that's activism. I think it's just like the action that raises awareness to a certain issue.
Mm-hmm. So what has been your experience at live music venues? Have you had a negative experience? Did you feel safe around security or the workers? Kind of just give me a basic rundown of your experience.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on the venue. There have definitely been some venues that I have been to where they are really, like, very large venues. Like, I've been to like stadium style ones where they all feel very safe. But you don't really like see it. Like, the staff is just kind of like like they don't have a ton of time to interact. And I've also been to like smaller concert venues where there might be like 200-300 people in the audience, where you really get to see the staff more, you know. I've had some, yeah, I would say I haven't had negative experiences with like the ticketing or like the actual like going to the event. It's more like I have dealt with like some creepy security guards, like creepy people at venues, or like having like things stolen and then just like trying to report it and not getting answers back. So I mean, I've had generally pretty good experiences, but then also like I have had experiences where it's like, okay, this is fun, like it's very like clear that this person doesn't give a crap about me, or like it shows that this particular like employee or person like doesn't care about my safety, you know.
Would you say, like, do you feel not as safe around other attendees, like other concert goers?
It depends on the like the type of music as well. I've gone to like raves where like a lot of the people who work at raves, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the people that like work at raves are usually volunteers. A lot of security people are volunteers, and so they like, because they're volunteers and they're like, one of the like things in like the rave community is the word PLUR, or peace, love, unity, respect. And so like in that environment, I feel totally safe around all the staff, all of the other concert goers. But then there are other types of music, like for say, rap shows are pretty decent, depending on like the musician. I've been to some like rock heavy ones that are pretty good. I think that the artist performing and like the vibe of the artist and their team, the audience usually reflects that. You know what I mean? So if you have a musician that's like very controversial, like has a lot of music about where they like don't respect women and like don't care about people, or even though like maybe have bad stereotypes in their music, it's definitely reflected in their team and in their audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Is there a live event venue that you personally know that does handle issues well?